this Theo Vaughn. I'm making Theo Vaughn's podcast table, right? Blows my freaking mind. I'll tell you the story. Okay, so I'm a big no, you're good. You're good. I'm a big listener, big fan of his show. He has a number that he puts out. You know, hey, call the hotline if you ever you want to answer this week's question, or when he does his solo episodes, he has like a question, or he'll have everybody call and comment on what a caller might have asked. Like, my girlfriend's having trouble with this. Well, what does everybody think? Call this number.
Me, awful, home, auto, emotional, builders, lips, and life is rich.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots is rich.
The John Durham Podcast.
Wow, wood. What's such a weird... When did you get into wood? Like, when you come and think about it, like, were you a kid, like, oh, were you the kid carving?
Not at all. When I started Gulf Coast Grainz, I didn't even own a skill saw at the time.
All Harbor Freight gear?
No, I didn't even have a clamp. Didn't know what half the tools I own now were 3 years ago. So COVID had happened, and before that, I used to haul cars. Dealers, auctions, collectors, over the road, 3-car wedge and a dually all over the Southeast. I did that for like 5 or 6 years. And then when COVID happened and they were shutting down, like Florida State lines, they had like borders and all that. So I stayed home for a little while, and I watched a YouTube video of a guy that owns a YouTube channel called Blacktail Studios. And I said, I can do that. I started, and it just took off.
How long did it take you to kind of go, you know what? It's not crap.
Probably about 8 months, I'd say, because I made a few boards, just small little charcuterie boards, serving boards, whatever you want to call them. And I gave some away, gifts, presents, Christmas. I started right around Christmas time, I remember, and gave some away as gifts. And then I posted some for sale. And then I took the ones I gave away and I took pictures of them. I put them on Marketplace and I said, hey, I make custom work. You pick the color, you pick the wood, you pick the size. I'll make whatever you want. And this sweet little lady from Gaucher, I'll never remember, messaged me and asked me if I do tables. And I said, absolutely. Never made anything bigger than like 12 by 20. Never.
Just cutting boards.
Just cutting boards.
My stepbrother, Adam Levenway, shout out to Adam. He got into that a few years ago too, right?
Yeah,
he was making
huge.
It was nice.
A lot of people, there's a lot of people that like the butcher block tops, the islands that used to be.
And then put the water in the middle, the resin water.
Yeah.
What do you call that stuff? Like, what do you, like when you design, that's a resin, right?
Yeah, it's epoxy resin, but just call it epoxy for short, yeah. It is a resin, if I have that right.
How'd you figure out how to price that table?
So then, it's way different than now, but back then it was, okay, here's how much it's going to cost me to build it. Here's how much she said she had for her budget, and here's how much I could make off of it. And, I just found the wood that was in the price range that allowed me to make like $1,000 off of it, which now is, looking back, is crazy because there's so much more work that goes into it than it's just $1,000 worth. I mean, insane.
How long did it take you to finish do that table?
That one, like a month, like straight all the way through. And it was small. It was like 5 foot. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I did. I knew what to do, but I'd never done it. I didn't have the tools, but I knew what to go buy because I've watched all these, YouTube certified. So
that's sick. It's sick.
That's it. It's just like changing a part on your car that you've never had to change. You look up a video.
Oh, I always look for camera settings.
Yeah, exactly. So you look up the settings and they tell you where to go and what to get and the lighting and they tell you all that and then you just go do it. And I did the same thing, but I just did it. I did it on a small scale with the boards till I got comfortable, and then I knew that I could sell those. So table was just the same thing but bigger.
I need to do it more. I do my insurance, so I'll keep. YouTube has some like commercial insurance classes, and I'll just keep it on the background.
Yeah.
But normally I'm doing Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah, I like that. Love Tiny Desk.
Plays in the background.
Nice.
Juvenile did his.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I like Young Jeezys. Yeah, that was cool.
But that's kind of where I'm at. I use YouTube for almost everything.
Yeah. I mean, and people ask me all the time, well, how do I do this or how do I do that? I was like, well, let me Google it for you. It's there, If you have a question, it's the answer.
I think it's kind of sketchy though. If we go through Google and try to Google videos, it's always some kind of like little trap.
Sometimes
you got to go in there and search YouTube search.
Yes,
you get in there and you do the Google stuff. You get all these ads and.
Yeah. More specifically, though, just Googling what you want, and then you click the video tab, and then most of those links are going to be YouTube anyway. So
is that my phone going off?
I think it's yours. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to turn the silence off. What did I put in here? Yeah, sorry about that. There goes. Got the volume off now, I think.
It's all good. I read the rules on the door, so I turned mine off. So
Did it? Did I have that on there? No. I don't know. So that's another thing too, is how does somebody make money making a wood table with all these wood prices? You know, because like before the pandemic, prices were not bad.
No, they were not. Well, so you're speaking more dimensional 2x4 Home Depot, and that was a whole.
Is that where you get your woods at?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That was a whole supply and demand thing, you know, for a little while with COVID and the plants, and you know, being able to provide enough of them to be able to keep them at that price. But with me, so 10 years ago, the wood that I buy now, the stuff with the holes and the cracks in it, they used to cut that up and use it to heat the shop in the furnace with the wood furnace. You know, they didn't sell it back then. Maybe 10 years is a little too short, maybe longer than that. But now that stuff with the live edge and the holes, because epoxy is such a big trending thing still after 3 years of just me doing it, it's more expensive than ever.
Yeah, I have a buddy, Josh Rife. Mm-hmm. He's a police officer, I think Biloxi. But I watched him do a resin. His dad lives in Will Market.
Yeah.
Steve Rife.
Yeah, I saw the table he did for a real estate company, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we were, I guess 16, 20 years ago. Maybe 20 years ago, I watched, did the bottle cap resin.
Yeah. So
that's similar, right?
It's exactly right.
Okay.
So all the bar, you go to a bar and you lean over and you order a drink. Well, what your arms are on is probably this big, thick plastic coating, it is epoxy, specifically designed to be this thin, 1/8 inch thick. The stuff that I pour in the middle of these big river tables, as they're called, is designed to be poured up to 2 inches thick, assuming you have the right humidity and temperature settings and all that. So it's got to be a climate controlled environment, if you want to do it that.
I bet it's a bitch to make sure there's no bubbles in that.
So again, if you're using the deep pour stuff, so it's more liquid than the bar top stuff, right? So you have a deep pour and you have a thin pour. The deep pour stuff is more like water, lower viscosity, I guess you'd say. So it takes longer to harden, so it has more time to aerate and let the bubbles naturally come up and pop. But it's satisfying to take the torch and pop the ones that are on the surface.
How long does it take for the resin to sit normally?
So it really depends about volume, but you could say 2 days on it, like an 8-foot table with a 6-inch wide river all the way down, like 2 days to fully harden. And
then you kind of polish it, and then you put some more if you need it.
Right. Okay. So the process.
You got to talk to me like I've never even used a screwdriver.
That's fine. So I basically build a waterproof box, right? And I use, like the white shelf board in your closet, melamine is what they call it. Mm-hmm. So I build it out of that, and I caulk all the seams, and then I place my wood strategically in this waterproof box.
So you make a little bathtub.
Basically, right? And then I'll clamp or caulk or nail my wood down so it doesn't float, because again, this stuff's like water, your wood can float. Depending on the volume. And I will pour the voids where there is no wood with the corresponding color of epoxy, whatever the client chooses, and then that takes 2 or 3 days to harden.
Yeah, I mean, were you developing your own skills to do this by now, or are you still YouTubing it?
No, by now it's pretty much just repeat over and over and over again. It's the same process for every table. The only thing will be different is the type of wood I use. Maybe it might be kind of exotic and not something grown in America that I order from overseas. It might be a different shape, using a custom CNC machine to cut it to like the shape of a bean, or, just something that's not rectangle. Or layering colors to give a depth effect when you look into it, or like the tables at Toronto's with little figurines in them, like, fish and stuff like that. Everything's pretty much the same, repeating over and over. Every table's the same, except for the color.
You got to have some patience.
You do. Yeah, you definitely do. And, when you ask me about how long it takes to build a table, and I might say 2 or 3 weeks, well, a week of that is waiting on that stuff to harden and fully set up, because it only takes 2 days for it to dry to the touch, but it might take 4 or 5 days before I could actually take it outside. I put it on what's called a planer sled or a flattening sled, and it basically this router on these rails that slide with this giant bit that makes everything flat. And then I flip it over and repeat that, and that's how you get a coplanar surface to where everything's the same thickness all the way around.
How much does that machine cost?
So I built it with different pieces. Like I bought the router separate, I bought the rails off eBay, and I got like maybe $300 or $400 in it. But they sell some out there that are like $3,000. So it's basically a big planer, but you kind of wedge but your piece doesn't move. Like a planer, you would feed the wood through. This machine here slides over your wood as it's sitting still.
So when you're in this process, do you dress like a hipster with like a leather apron.
I bought a lot of stuff in the beginning that I saw everybody on YouTube wearing that I thought I had to have and I thought I had to use in the tools, but no, I don't wear one anymore. I just wear glasses and Bluetooth headphones, the big over the ear muffs to keep the noise from the router away.
Well, it's kind of cool that you of course you had to make money. You had to figure out how to make money.
Absolutely.
That's how it started too.
Absolutely.
You're like, I got to figure out for my family.
Yeah.
I got to do something.
I mean, I was, like I said, I was home from the road and I was fine. We had savings, whatever. We were good for a couple weeks for me to lay up and not, have to hit the road right away. But it was nice not to have to miss my kids, football and school stuff. And just, I miss so much being on the road. In order to make $100,000 hauling cars, you got to be gone 7 days a week.
My brother had a company.
You got to be gone all the time.
Yeah, my dad had one. They're doing out of Key Auto Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a life for everybody.
It's really not, especially not somebody with a family.
Yeah, if you're single,
oh, dude, you could stay in a hotel. Oh, you make $150 a year, just stay in hotels.
If I did that, I'd be at Hooters 3 days a week.
Absolutely, and I had
I love
to
Hooters
go.
food. This is being honest with you, okay?
I like wings, but not specifically Hooters.
Oh, dude, Hooters it's spot on.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've been to the Gulfport Hooters?
Never.
Shout out to them.
Never.
Dude, it's so badass.
Never. Last time I was at a Hooters, we went with a bunch of girls that worked there to a NASCAR race in Virginia. We went with like the manager and a bunch of girls. We had a party bus, and that was my last Hooters
It's like one of my son's favorite places.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Not one of the spots I frequent.
I've always enjoyed. They used to have all you can eat wings.
Yeah,
I love the mixture of like the wing. Like it was never just a drum. You're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm a big wing guy. Like we have we have one thing I'm blessed about living here in Gulfport. We have a wing stop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So guys, we're with Bobby Charles. He is a woodworker. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Carpenter,
fine.
woodworker,
furniture maker, whatever.
Furniture maker. Also, he has Tourette's. I was telling him I have cerebral palsy. He didn't take his medication for his Tourette's. So if you do start hearing, if you're listening to the radio or whatever, it's not bad at all.
No,
First of all, especially when you're continuing talking, you don't. Yep. But we just want y'all to know that.
I don't have the cool kind where I get to cuss people out and get away with it. I don't have that kind, unfortunately. I kind of wish I did.
You'll hear a little ticks here and there. He can't change it.
If you talk about it, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but it ain't. But I'm just letting them know. So like
Sure.
they're like, "What's that sound?" It's fine, guys. Look, I guarantee you have a few friends out there that have Tourette's, and it probably you never even noticed.
Right. Yeah.
That's a big thing too.
There's a lot of ticks that are so mild that I do that people don't notice. I do this pattern with my knees that nobody ever notices, and it's like left, right, left, left, right. It's
kind of like booty dancing.
Completely insane. But I'm just like twitching my kneecaps, and nobody ever notices it. But it satisfies it, and it makes me not want to do other ticks. The ticks change, every 6-8 months they change into something different.
Really?
It'll go from my fingers like this, to
When'd
my
you find
neck
out
like
about?
this.
When'd you find out you had Tourette's?
Elementary school. I got in trouble for making noise in class, but I didn't know why I was doing it. I told the lady, I was like, "Look, I can't help it," but she didn't believe me. So my parents took me to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with a tick that said I'd grow out of it. I remember it being really mild through middle school and early high school, but sometime around my sophomore, junior year, I actually got diagnosed with it officially from a neurologist. And because then it was just getting worse, and I think even as I get older, it gets worse.
I think because your dad, stress related.
Maybe.
I mean,
possibly.
I think that's what I would think, right?
Possibly.
I'm a dad too.
I mean, yeah. I think, and that's probably really true. Emotions have a lot to do with it. Really tired, really happy, really excited. Any emotion makes it work. Any extreme.
I was talking to my buddy today. We went to El Satios for lunch. Mm-hmm. Shout out to DJ, but he's got 2 kids. 1 week on, 1 week off.
Mm-hmm.
So that week on, he's dad mode.
That's right.
Homework. His kids go to Walmart. Homework, everything. I mean, busting ass. But then he has a week off. And he has fun.
Yeah.
He's our
good way to do it.
He's our age. He's had a good time. But I was like, when I tell people oh yeah, he goes out on the next the week after and has time to himself. I'm like, you just don't know if you're not a parent, you'll never understand.
No, you won't.
you'll never because you're responsible for
another human being. Yeah. That's insane to think about.
Yeah,
it really is.
The other day, Oliver, we had his Ninja Turtle birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese Saturday. My mom bought him some Raphael, all the characters. Mm-hmm. Bought the whole entire costumes. That Monday, he gets on the school bus. All right. That Monday, he puts a kid in a headlock.
Wow.
He's a Ninja Turtle. then in class, then he goes to PE, and then he punches a kid in the nards. And he gets kicked off the bus for 3 days for school suspension. And I'm like thinking to myself, well, I can't get mad about it because it's me.
You did it. It's your fault.
Well, no, but I mean, I remember being that way on the school bus.
Absolutely.
And you know, I told her, I was like, when he starts kindergarten, he's got to ride on the school bus.
Yeah.
I was like, because that's how I met my friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never hung out with the kids with car riders.
Yeah.
I always was on the school bus, and I started in the front, and I worked my way to the back seat. Yeah, I had the back seat. You had the back seat?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But it's not like it used to be. You can't just run around the neighborhood and play with your friends anymore. It's too crazy out here now, you know. Or at least it's harder than it used to be to just freely let your kids, you know, at an older age than yours. My youngest is 15, and he doesn't ride the bicycle around the neighborhood and go hang out with friends, you know. He sees them at school and he plays games with them online. That's it, you know.
Yeah, it's probably tough.
It's hard.
Yeah, because I grew up in Latimer.
I think
I had a 4-Trax 300, and I never had a bicycle. I rode up and down Daisy Vestry. I've ran from cops. That was like Latimer back then.
Yeah.
I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, for sure. I hit the pipelines. Do you know how far you can get away with the power lines? You just take that. Did you have a 4-wheeler?
Yeah, absolutely. We had horses and 4-wheelers. We had a motocross track down the street from our house growing up. Man, we had a good outdoor life. You know, it's just so different.
So he's just in a fortnight? What's your son's name?
Destin is his name, like the city in Florida, like the beach. Yeah.
Is that where he conceived?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So they're my step kids. Both of my kids are. I met my fiance Samantha when I moved down here in like 2013, but I think I met her in 2014 really. But I moved to Mississippi from North Carolina in 2013. And you know, me and her's been together ever since 2014. Coming up on 10 years in August. But they were already both born. Plenty of Fish. Oh. A real online dating love story.
That's sick.
It's wild.
Did you feel like you're about to get catfish?
No,
Were you ever scared? Were you ever like, is that Bruce?
It's always a gamble, you know. Chinese food buffet and online dating; those are real gambles right there. But I was doing these. I was doing this karaoke bar. I was doing the karaoke night at it's a place called In Time Out. It used to be in Ocean Springs, the Domino's building, right?
Yeah,
you remember that place?
Right behind 19th hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was doing the karaoke there with this other guy. I can't remember his name now. Me and him were running it. And you know, we'd been chatting online or whatever. I was like, hey, I'm doing this. You know, if you want to meet me officially, just stop by. And her and her friend came by, and you know, I guess we realized we were who we said we were. We looked like our pictures actually, you know, were supposed to. And so we set up another date, and it went from there. So, you know, I met a bunch of women on there that were not who they said they were, you know.
I went to school with Emily at St. Martin. Her mom was Miss Shekels, the teacher, elementary teacher. And then when I was 30, Emily messaged Carrie Jo. They're at like the Beau Rivage pool. Carrie Jo is she's like a sister, we're best friends. And she took Emily's phone and messaged me. And I was hanging out with another girl. Like, is this serious? Like, nothing serious, you know. I'm just kind of floating around at 30. Then she messaged me on Facebook. I go up to Hattiesburg where she was living. 2 weeks later, we're having a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, his name's Oliver.
Yeah. The story written.
That's pretty much, that's not Plenty of Fish, but it's, I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, dude, I was hooked. I was in it the moment she liked dive bars and beer and music, and that's it. She didn't go. I can't deal with the ones that can't just drink a good craft beer. And
yeah, mine's not a beer drinker.
Tequila.
She likes Crown. She likes vodka. She likes, you know, but she's just not a beer or big wine
what
drinker.
I mean by that is like taking somebody that like rides along with you.
Exactly. Who can do what you do. Yeah. But so I actually went to the Frank Foster concert at the Hattiesburg, the convention center, what they call it right there on 49. The night after I met her, and then like we went to this bar and we got in this fight and I got blood all over the shirt, and I went to go see her the next day, and she washed my shirt for me and had no problem doing it, no questions asked. I was like, yeah, I could be with this one right here.
I mean, you have to have the one that rides along.
That's right.
She's behind the podcast setup.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like, I had this space. She gave the space to me.
Yeah. She could.
How many people like most women do not do this?
No.
I just can't touch
a lot of little corner in the room. That's what you're allowed.
But downstairs, I can't do anything.
No.
I can walk downstairs and all of a sudden it's always quotes like good vibes. Be you.
Yeah. Live, laugh, love.
Live, live, love. Well, that Shane Gillis. Oh man, no, but yeah, that's cool. So plenty of fish.
Yeah, that's where we met.
Now, was it a selfie photo for your headshot?
I believe so. It's probably a gym thing, man. Back then, you know, so when I was driving and hauling cars, you know, you just kind of ride and eat, and I got fat. But back then I was 6 days a week in the gym, and you know, it was like this. My arms were out here. That's probably what my profile pic was.
But you had to take it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it was a selfie, but I mean, it was, you know.
I used to take them in the mirror.
No, I never did a mirror. I never understood. So I never could get past seeing the phone that took the picture. That always bothered the shit out of me, and I'm pretty sure
there's a photo out there with me popping my collar too. I was big 3-6 Mafia guy. I'm still am. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Nothing wrong with that.
Popping my collar is just. I listened to it earlier today.
Yeah.
I still listen to Lil White.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Big Lil White guy.
Yeah, I love Lil White. The old Jelly Roll. Love the old Jelly Roll.
YouTube.
Yeah.
That was YouTube for us.
Yeah.
That was MySpace.
Yep.
Hollywood Undead.
Yep.
Yeah. But for me, it's a tough one. I mean, if I have to be honest with you, it's going to hurt some feelings. I love the New Orleans Big Timers.
Mm-hmm.
I love Juvenile.
Yeah.
But that Memphis, Project Pat.
Yeah. It's definitely their own style.
It's a different.
Nobody.
Little White. I mean, Little White is just fucking insane.
He is so underrated. Never got the credit he really deserved. Not that I feel like he ever wanted it. I don't think he ever wanted to be mainstream anyway. But
his raps.
Yeah.
Like
his ability.
Jelly Roll is amazing.
Yeah.
But Little White, if he can have the right PR team, God,
I think he could still do it.
I've watched. I watched the video of him like super drunk.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram, so I see stuff he still does. I think he still got it.
I mean, the best.
If he had to do it, I think he's still.
The best is Boosie though. Boosie stays relevant. Does he not? He does.
Yeah, he's never gonna fade out.
No, he's like. Did you watch? Who was that? Who's that interviewer? Was it Vlad? Yeah.
Yeah.
They did the house tour. You seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I built this house, $50,000 a week, cash.
I like the videos of him getting messed with the police up in Georgia. They always hassle him and pull him over all the time. Boosie.
Did you watch that Afro Man? So you need to pull up later. Afro Man, guys, check this out. Pull up Afro Man arrested. A music video. Like cops came to his house. And they broke into his house.
Really?
Yeah, they just surrounded his house and broke into it. There's like 15 of them.
Jesus.
And they tore his door down. Well, he had video cameras and he recorded all the cops and he made a rap about them, calling them pigs and selling merch. And then they sued him because it got so bad.
They sued him or he sued them?
No, they sued him because he was selling T-shirts with the cops on it.
Jesus.
Dude, that is, yeah.
I got to look into that. I've never seen that.
Well, you know Afro Man's Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
So, so T-Bones, have you been to T-Bones?
Mm-mm.
So go up to Hattiesburg.
Wait, is that the one beside the cosmetology place right there?
On Hardy Court?
They sell all the records and stuff inside? Yeah. So
that's where the owner of T-Bone Records and Coffee, that's how he signed Afro Man, and he would sell his CDs there, and that's how I got discovered.
But does he have a place in Hattiesburg?
Yeah.
Okay, so beside the place in Hattiesburg, on a wall in that lady's art gallery / beauty salon, there's like a bunch of pieces that I made when I first started.
Really?
She sends me random checks all the time when a piece sells. Yeah. Right beside T-Bones. That's the only time I've ever been to one is in Hattiesburg.
No, that's
I haven't been to one here.
But so Emily lived right behind there, but that Afro Man got discovered from that shop.
Really? I didn't know that. Never knew that.
Yeah, that's how. And then he came down to Biloxi and slapped somebody.
Yeah. Got famous with that.
Crest Live.
Yeah.
So do you think you're going to stay in the woodworking world?
Yeah. People said this was a fad. They say shag carpet was a fad and it died out. I feel like this will die out eventually, the epoxy rivers, but I feel like some part of it will stay relevant and I'll just follow that trend and whatever it is. I mean, I still do on my greatest weeks when I'm running an ad or two on Marketplace, I do like 90 quotes a week. People all over the country. I ship everywhere. I have stuff all over the.
But what do you like doing? You don't just do everything. You kind of have to monetize it until you only do a certain amount of things. All right now.
Say that again. What do you mean?
Like do you? How many products do you offer?
Well, I mean, it's anything that, it's furniture I can do. I mean, I could do.
But I mean, do you do the smaller stuff still, or do you?
I don't get orders for the smaller stuff. I just don't, because, and I don't know if it's because I'm priced too high or because I just don't advertise for it anymore. I really just advertise for tables or wall art or cabinetry, because a cabinet face. Think of your kitchen cabinets and how all the doors open separately. Imagine they were made out of one giant 8-foot piece and then cut into those sections and they look sequential. I'm dying to find a customer that wants to do a big cabinet front with epoxy river like that. I have to show you a picture, maybe help
You know what I want
understand it.
us to do? I want us to figure out how to do make chairs.
Yeah, chairs will be awesome, but the time that goes in the chairs and the amount you
No,
have
I'm
to
saying I want to come over after
make.
hours to try to figure out how to make a chair.
Oh yeah, no, I got plenty of router templates we can use. So
I just want to see if how.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because like I was telling you at my stepdad's table, I mean, this is 60 years old.
60 years old.
And if you look at, I mean, besides my stash of my marijuana, it's not. I mean, dude,
well, it's solid wood. It's not it's not
Yeah.
it's not fiberboard. It's not particle wood. So
yeah, it's
It's got those cubby drawers.
it's real hardwood,
yeah. I mean, I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
and
I
it'll last
started,
another 60.
but I started appreciating this wood honestly because this table.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
can see that.
I didn't appreciate this piece at all. Like, really didn't appreciate it. And then it's been a big part of this area.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
And when it's clean and shines, 'cause
I
that's
can refinish it for you if you want me to.
Well-
If you ever want it to be.
I would rather learn how to do it
Oh, I could teach you. Yeah.
because like that's like something that my stepdad, shout out to Scott Lemway. You're a badass dude. I love you to death, dude. He's a big part of the community. I mean, Girl Scouts don't have to pay sales tax for their home. Like really,
Nice.
he's a lobbyist. He's a lobbyist. One of the most inspiring people. He got the money for the Gulfport airport. He got like the $40 million for the aquarium.
Yeah.
He's just
Nice.
He's a Woodstock guy.
Gotcha.
But this is what he did with his dad. His dad was a would you say it? What do you title yourself? Carpenter,
Woodworker.
woodworker. His dad was
Yeah.
a professor and would make this type of stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, and it's, you're making heirlooms for a lot of people. A lot of people that buy this stuff, I expect it to last 100 years. As long as they're not breaking it and hitting it with sledgehammers, it's not going anywhere.
But the stuff that I see you make, I mean, your type of wood, I mean, that's a solid piece of wood.
Right. Some of these pieces, for an 8-foot table, say the table needs to finish out at 4 foot wide.
Yeah.
I'll buy one that's 8 foot long and 3 foot wide. I'll cut it down the middle. I flip the live edges inward and I pour the difference, that 12 inches in the middle, to make 4 feet wide.
How hard is it to find wood?
It's really not. So I have some clients that will ask me about every single knot and corner and section of a 12-foot piece, and it will drive me insane. I have some clients that say, I want this color, I want this species, I want whatever, because I send them a bunch of samples and, obviously photo gallery on my website, and they choose. And so there's a lot to choose from because there's a ton of people now that it's popular that are selling this wood online, and I use only suppliers that offer kiln-dried wood.
What is that?
So that is where they take the wood. Okay, so if you go out in your yard right now and you cut down one of those oak trees across the street, you can't bring it inside, mill it to a small piece, and then make furniture out of it, because as that wood dries and the moisture is removed from it, because it's dead now, it'll warp, crack, bend, twist, bow, everything. So kiln drying is when you, like a bandsaw, where they mill the wood up, then they stack it with these little stickers in between it to allow airflow to pass through, and they let that sit somewhere in a yard for a year. And then after that, they put it in this vacuum kiln.
Do they, like, clamp
sucks
it
the
down?
moisture. Yep. They'll ratchet strap it
Oh,
around.
like
to keep
making
it
a
from moving.
skateboard.
Yeah, something like that, but on a giant, scale. And then they'll put it in this giant, like 40-foot shipping container that has a vacuum machine to it that sucks out the moisture from the wood for, a week or two. And then that's kiln dried wood. So it's not going to warp or crack.
How in the
because
hell
it's
did you
not
figure all this out in only a couple of years?
YouTube.
I mean, but dude, this is impressive.
I mean, I didn't know anything about wood movement when I first started. I didn't know that. Okay, so Hurricane Zeta. You remember Hurricane Zeta?
Yeah, Hurricane Zeta. Shout out to AG Electric.
Yeah.
They're my buddies, Abe and Gilbert. That mask on the side of my house.
Yeah.
That ripped off by a oak tree limb from the neighbor's house.
During Zeta.
Yeah, and then they showed up. Like I was a week without power, and I'm like, trying to, caught up, and Gilbert goes, "Hey, bud, that's what I do." And I'm like, "Come by my house." Abe was here at 6 a.m.
Nice.
He's such a nerd. All the wires are just like,
oh, perfect. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I've worked with some crazy skilled electricians
And I said,
that
"Hey,"
love to make a panel look
I
pretty.
said, "What can y'all do? Cash." I got my little money thing. You should have seen his face. He's like,
yeah, absolutely.
But what were you saying?
So during Zeta, the top of this oak tree fell in my yard. And I just watched that video about this Blacktail studio making a table. And I said, man, I could do that, So I took this wood and I took this chainsaw and I got it somewhat flat. And then I went out, a buddy of mine used to do cabinetry. So he sold me a planer and I passed it through and I made it, and I had this little piece for my little charcuterie board I was going to make, my serving board. And, after I made it, it did like this. It canoed on me and completely warped and I didn't know why. Because I didn't know anything about moisture content. I didn't know that after you cut wood, it has to be clamped or strapped or something and be held flat so that it can rest for a year before being vacuum kiln. Now, you could have some wood that's milled and been in a barn for 15 years. It's never been in a vacuum kiln specifically. That's dry enough. It's just over time naturally aired out enough to where the moisture is weeped out of it. And it's not going to continue to move. But then you run into bugs. The thing about vacuum kiln is it gets up to 165 degrees and kills all larvae inside it so that you don't have a bug boring out of your table while you're sitting
how
there
much
eating
does one
dinner.
of them things cost?
A kiln, 100 grand, 60 grand. Just depends on the size. But yeah, they're not cheap.
Jeez,
So I buy from people who sell already kiln dried wood and treated wood so that I don't have to worry about shipping a table out to California.
Are they like China or are they local?
They're all domestic. Yeah. I buy exotic species from other countries, Turkey, all over South America, Africa.
You can make a turkey out of wood. Shit.
So Turkey.
I love turkey legs.
Turkey is really known for olive wood. The kind of wood that the cross was made out of, that Jesus hung on. And it's this crazy wood that grows with holes and knots naturally in it, so it's perfect for epoxy. So I bought a piece for a client in New Jersey one time from Turkey off of Etsy. There's wood suppliers all over Etsy, eBay, Marketplace, everywhere. So I use suppliers specific. Most of my suppliers are either California, Pennsylvania, or Nebraska. That's just random. That's just because that's where they are. I like their inventory.
But are you in a group chat?
No.
Is there a Facebook group?
There's a million of them. Yeah,
but like a woods. Like how do
I find them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have Instagram pages. And they, advertise, and I'll click on it, and they have a website. Well, then I go to their website, and I go to slabs. They're selling their products on their website. They've inventoried 600 pieces of wood, and on that piece of wood in chalk is the length and the thickness and the width and the price. So I have all my info that I can show my clients. I save that photo. I send my clients 10 pictures of pieces of wood, and I say, which one do you want? My client picks the wood, they pick the species, the particular slab, they pick the color.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's completely customizable. You pick it, I make it. That's how it is. And I think that's what appeals to a lot of people.
How's your back?
Kills me. If I didn't have those Home Depot sheetrock carts, I wouldn't be able to move half this stuff.
Did you buy them or steal them?
No, I bought them.
Okay.
There was a guy in just behind the Academy in D'Iberville that had a giant shop and woodwork for years. Nothing like I do, like traditional, style furniture. Yeah. And he had these big machines, and I went over there looking to buy, and I didn't buy them, but he had this cart and a bunch of lumber, and I bought it from him for a steal. So it's worth every penny.
Have you done anything that's like with LEDs or no? You try to stay away from that?
No. I mean, I to me, it doesn't matter. It takes me 45 minutes to add LEDs to a table. It's nothing. I've done a couple. I got a guy in Oklahoma, Mr. Gray, that ordered a table from me, older gentleman. It was a 9-foot piece, a 9-foot dining table, like 4 foot wide. And it has a remote. You can change the colors, and it glows through the opaque gray epoxy. Any color you want, just like a LED strip around the room.
If we get into if you just want one of your standard tables, let's just say a standard table.
Yeah.
What's the starting out?
So what kind of table? Coffee table, dining table, what?
I would say the main thing would be like a dining table.
Mm-hmm. So I guess average size ordered would be 7 foot by 3 foot, and that would be 6 person dining room table. Start around about $3,500.
Okay. So that's something I want to like, because you're gonna have people going like, "Hey, I want you to make me a table for $1,200."
Absolutely. No. So
and you're like,
more.
"What? I can't even."
So I have about 15 marketplace ads going on right now, and they're all labeled made to order. And people just can't resist. They message me and they go, how much? A of all, there's 50 pictures in this ad. What are you asking about? B of all, what size? You know what I mean? It's all different.
Yeah.
A coffee table's $1,000. A 6-person dining room table's $3,500. A conference table's $12,000. I mean, you know, you got to give me some more details. So when people ask me about quotes or about prices,
And that's where, and I wouldn't try.
No,
I was
you're
just
fine.
I was talking about that so that you can get that off your chest.
Yeah.
Because that's probably something that comes. You're like,
it is sticker shock to 90% of the people I tell the price.
yeah, but
to.
it's like you said, 100 years.
Yeah. Oh, I expect it to last forever. Absolutely.
But everybody pays 45,000 for a Kia now.
Yeah.
You can't get Bobby $5,000.
So I don't make enough money to feel like I would pay $6,000 for an 8-person dining room table, but a lot of people do, and a lot of people will. And shipping is easy, so I should, you know,
Yeah, but you're
consider the people across the
you're
country that
passionate
can
about
afford
doing
it.
this. Now you're in it.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I start seeing you work, and I was just like, I gotta hit his ass up. I gotta get him on the podcast. I was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, because I was thinking, you know, when I seen, damn, it was probably 3 months ago. You did that conference room table, that fucking big ass conference room table.
Which one?
It was the not the resin. I forgot what table it was, but it was big. It might have been little resin, but it was just fucking gorgeous. Like just looked like it was ahead of its time.
Was it dark?
Yeah.
Yeah. So black walnut, most likely. Those are one of the two most common species.
But it was so cool. I'm the type of person that goes to Mexican with a stomach where I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. And then I go to the antique shop. And I will go through the pain. Like
Yeah.
I have a Stone Cold cookie jar.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a conversation piece.
It is. It really is. I've never sold anything to anybody that didn't reply to me, wow, when they first see it in person, you know. And it's not a brag. That's just like it's an eye catcher. It's a conversation starter. It's it's whatever.
You think you could make me a pipe?
Yeah.
Like I could smoke out of?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
you probably make the coolest dugout.
There is a
I'm telling you, you need to make me a dugout.
there's a prototype of a dugout in my shop that I have not finished yet that I've wanted to make for a buddy of mine. That,
I would love a dugout.
that I've been wanting to make. They actually, you could go on Amazon, and I know you're not going to, but you could go on Amazon and Google epoxy wood dugout, and there's already people that make them that sell them all over Etsy.
I know, I'm going to stick with yours.
Yeah, for sure. I just mean like there's nothing that you can think of that people aren't already making with this stuff. It blows my mind.
Because there's this NT, KNT, NT. They're two guys that own this pottery place, and let me see if I got my. I have to have no. It's downstairs, but I have a ceramic pipe.
Yeah.
And I need to look their name up because I'm not gonna, we guys, I gotta respect them because they really do work hard, and
They got to get a shout out.
yeah, they work really hard and they make amazing stuff. NT, yeah, it's NT. So NT, they're local, but they make a lot of pottery stuff, but they make it's like a little bone. They make a little pipe it's got legs on it, so it doesn't roll.
Oh, okay.
But that was not on purpose. It was because when they put in the fire, the kiln.
kiln? Yeah.
Yeah. When they put it in, that's how they had to glaze it or whatever.
Right.
And it just works.
Yeah.
And I think they're like $35.
Happy accident.
I'll tell you what. I told them I've bought several from them.
Yeah.
Like I'll see them out, but I'm like, what are you doing with these? Because you go find them at Chandelier.
Right,
They're
right.
vendors. They don't.
Okay.
They're just vendors. Like you go. I love vendors.
Yeah.
I buy most of my art. I collect art, but I buy from vendors.
Absolutely.
That's what Emily the same way. We go to vendor shows. We buy local.
Absolutely.
Man.
I tried that. I tried going to a
tough.
craft show. To me, it's hard because my bread and butter is tables. There's not a lot of markup in these small boards. So I usually just, I could make 20 and take to a show, but even if I sold all 20, I'm not, it's a lot to sit out in the Mississippi heat.
Well, you're at a different level now. I mean, you're
Now, sure.
but you're at a level now where, like, because you're now like into this level of like woodworking art where it's bigger projects that take up most of your time.
And I really appreciate anybody that ever says that to me about art, but I can't deny the fact that all I do is fill in the gaps that nature leaves, right? And I'm not trying to be poetic or anything, but think about it. They cut the tree, it falls down, my client points at it, and all I do is pour around it. I don't come up with a design, the client does. All I do is make it, you know? I mean, I understand there's a, you know, part to be able to like to have the foresight to see what it's going to look like so I can explain it to the client, but it just I don't know, man. I don't feel like there's really any real artistry to it.
You would get more clientele. Go into one of these what do you call it, home what are the builders events, like conventions,
like a home show. Yeah, for sure.
Because I bet you could build one badass island.
I could, and I have some designs saved on my on my phone in these little furniture design apps that just I'm dying for the right person to want it, but it's hard to push it on somebody who, you know, they've been looking for a month or 2 months and they already know what they want. And, you know, sometimes I can sell them on my idea because I know it'll look better or something I want to try, you know, specific color or specific, you know, shape or whatever. But that's about it.
I got to get you and Josh and Butler together.
Who's that?
Butler Homes.
Yeah.
They're right there by the Dollar General in the Will Market.
Yeah.
I do a lot of work with them, and Butler has his own cabinet shop. They have I think Workman's. Josh and Butler are partners.
Okay.
So Mike Butler, Josh Workman, they've been building Butler Homes since 2012, 11.
Nice.
They're the Sands project.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so yeah, I mean, like if they had like a spec house or something that they staged and wanted a table in, absolutely, that'd be something I'd be interested in, just to stick it in there, you know.
Or just adapt your design with their design.
Absolutely.
Like, because Butler, they build stuff like they have BW Arson, which I have Curtis coming on tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He's one of their partners, one of the sweetest guys ever. Okay. But like, it'd be cool to like, I need to get y'all together.
All right.
Because it'd be cool to like, you know, have one of his custom built homes and like have like your style built into an island or into like a wet bar.
Yeah. You ever seen these waterfall tables? Where they go, you know, they're connected, they go to the floor. Yeah. Like the slab is cut at a miter and then it's put together and they call them a waterfall table. I have this design with one that doesn't fall quite all the way to the floor. It stops. So like your live edge is downward facing down. You know?
I got to get y'all connected. I
have all kinds of stuff
like
drawn up.
You would love Butler's cabinet shop.
Oh, I bet.
So that where his office is, that whole entire back, you see that the whole warehouse?
Yeah.
It's all cabinets.
Where is this at?
It's Toronto's right here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Toronto's.
Yeah.
Crawfish Beer hats will be sold this weekend there. I mean, this is true. I'm excited. It's my.
Yeah, I can
love
see
that.
it in your face.
Yeah, I love that place. I love that family.
I love the whole family. They're great.
They're great people.
They were great to
go
work
past
with.
their place on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you got some tables in there.
That's right.
Go past their place on the left. Keep going, four-way stop. You got the Allstate and the Dollar General.
Yep.
I'm even plugging and even got my own insurance. You got the Allstate right
That's
there.
Right.
Go straight across on your right.
Okay.
It's Butler Homes.
I got you.
It's that big warehouse.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. I was trying to make sure I wasn't confusing
So
with the one on the other side.
he had a guy retire. His cabinet guy retired, so he just decided.
Okay.
Like they only do cabinets for their homes.
Sure.
But
I'd love any shop like that because I'm doing these 15-foot tables out of 500 square feet, dude. I'm in a 2-car garage.
I'm telling you, you got to meet Butler. I'll set you up
okay.
Because I think I got to get with Butler. Y'all got to get together. And
yeah.
Do you have some photos that we can share? Like me and you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll bring you there and meet Butler and Josh.
A bunch. Yeah.
Because they're like, you know, with the Sands project with 31 units.
Yeah.
On Front Beach.
On the beach. Yep.
Oh, dude, I bet you could build some badass like wet bars.
Yeah,
like I'm telling
I got some wild designs that haven't been done yet, or that I haven't seen done yet. Speaking of crazy pieces, I did. I think my third table I ever did was Bryant Fryer. He's a police officer in Biloxi. In Biloxi. He was in a high-speed chase, right? And he was shooting so the suspect was turned around and shooting at him through his windshield, and he was shooting back, and he wanted to preserve this windshield out of his Explorer, his cruiser. So I casted the windshield in the table in clear epoxy and then put metal legs on it and put walnut around it.
Holy shit.
The whole table is the size of an Explorer windshield, right? With wood on each end, like breadboards on each end, and then metal legs underneath, and it's in his man cave with bullet holes all in it. It's wild.
I had a high speed chase when I was in Latimer.
On a 4-wheeler?
No, I was in my Jeep Rubicon.
Okay.
And I didn't move, and the guy was like started hitting my tire, but he's like running from him. And I was in Jackson County. I mean, from there. So, like, you know where the Waffle House and then there's the Domino's?
Yeah.
I was at that light right there. And a car came up and was like honking at me and like pushing it like, you ain't gonna do nothing to this Jeep.
Yeah.
And by the time, like, I just didn't move.
Yeah.
I didn't care. He was trying to get me to like
Yeah,
get
for
aggressive,
sure.
like, whatever. Like, I've already,
Jeez.
and he hit my tire, and right, look, I look over, the cop hit him. Right when I'm like, and he hit me too.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
But I was like, I pulled over and that's my tire.
So how's that work? Who cuts a check for that when the cops do that? I've always been curious.
They do because they have insurance, but I didn't care.
Right. Well,
I didn't do anything to my
obviously
shit.
not.
Yeah.
I'm just
No,
curious.
they have their own insurance.
Right. Okay.
They can cover up to certain stuff, but like I said, it was only my tire. It was my rear left tire, and I was like,
Just the rubber.
I mean,
right.
I maybe put a little dent in the back quarter, like there's a little. What's the fucking Jeep?
Yeah. Okay.
I hate
The
seeing these.
Rubicon.
I hate seeing these little queen Jeeps where they're like,
Parking lot princesses. Yeah.
you got too many ducks, bro.
I don't get the ducks. I'm not a Jeep guy. I had an XJ for a while, and there was no ducks on the dash.
XJ,
of
that's
that.
Toyota.
No. I mean, no, the XJ, right? The Cherokee Sport.
Okay.
Yeah, the old like 2000 model. I think they're called XJs.
I had I don't know I had the 04 Rubicon, white. Right when I got it, bought it from a couple from won a lottery. Right when I got it, brought it to the power lines.
Yeah,
Same day.
yeah. We had the power lines where I grew up in North Carolina. We had a power line area. We used to go bury everything up to the windows. Yeah,
That's what I wanted to do, and I did.
yeah.
I
It's a lot
told
of
my
fun.
buddy BJ Rogers. He does home remodels. I need to get you in touch with him because he does big. Him and his wife Lauren, they do like big remodels. Like they
do the interior design and all that as well.
yeah,
Like,
they add like another 2,000 square foot to a house. And
Oh,
like,
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and they build all these things. So I think that's where I think you would be like a boss at.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're it's there forever.
Yeah.
Think about some of the old houses that we used to go to. Like I have a buddy working on his dad's house, and he's got the old wood paneling.
Yeah.
But it's got all the old wood beams from like Roadhouse. Remember Roadhouse?
Absolutely.
Look, it's got deer everywhere. I'm like, dude, just keep it. It's back in.
Rustic, Yeah. Don't get rid of it.
I mean, sometimes I miss a fucking CD player.
Yeah. I don't.
You don't?
No, I think it's great to think about it and, be
what?
nostalgic.
I'm mad you said that because I have CD players in every one of my vehicles. Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that. There's one in mine too.
I got a little white CD too. Yeah, I have. I can't take them out.
I'm just so spoiled. So running this loud equipment all day in the shop, I have these over the ear muff Bluetooth headphones
what brand?
that they are 3M. They're safety, but they have Bluetooth capability. So yeah, I'm spoiled by Bluetooth music, man. I just it's just easy, hit play, put it in my pocket. I don't have to hear these machines. I'm not deaf at the end of the day, So
What What are you playing?
what am I playing? So there
Milli
is
Vanilli?
a wide range. Anything from Tupac to Frank Foster to Tool to Slipknot, Mushroom Head. I like everything, man. I'm just all over the board, honestly. I listen to a lot of YouTube videos, like obviously podcast, Theo Von, Joe Rogan, Bert, all those guys, Tom Segura. These First Amendment auditors, I love watching them. I love watching them piss cops off. I don't know why I like it. The ones that don't understand. Shit. Yeah. The ones that, the camera can't make a cop look bad, right? The cop does that, right? I don't know. For some reason, it just makes me.
Well, the ones that have an ego are the worst.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The ones that get kind of put in their place, like, hey, man, you don't run every damn thing. For some reason, I like watching them. So I listen to a lot of those. There's a guy out of North Carolina, and there's a lady out of Florida, I think she's from. It's called J-Town Press, like Jacksonville, J-Town. J-Town Press I listen to a lot, and she's all over the Gulf doing it. There was actually a guy recently in the last 6 months that was
is this audio or video clips?
both. So she's wearing a GoPro.
Okay.
And she has a gimbal with her phone, and she's playing them both. And but I wanted to say this. There was a guy that was arrested at Gaucher and arrested at Ocean Springs like 6 months ago for standing out in front of City Hall and saying, "God bless homeless veterans." And they wanted him to move. and he would not move because he's in a public place. He has a right to free press and free speech. He's not bothering anybody. He's not asking for money. And he's, he has the right to do this constitutionally protected activity anywhere that the public can freely move, right? And he's on the steps of the city hall, and that's a public place. And these cops, they came and they arrested him because he wouldn't leave. That blows my mind that, you have to be right. You have to have the last word that you're going to arrest this dude for nothing. Like, you can't just say, okay, they called us out here because they want you to leave, but I'm too big headed to tell them that constitutionally you're not, you're not breaking any laws.
I think
I don't know. It bothers me sometimes.
Well, there's good police officers like.
I love cops. I'm not saying anything bad about cops at all.
But I'm saying like Chief Miller, Biloxi. I love Chief Miller.
Yeah.
Roger Wiggins, detective. We used to be in a car club together.
Yeah.
He's a hip hop dancer.
Yeah.
Like, we go to the Motor Voyage and like he can bust a move. Like, and I'm telling you,
no,
have a non-second hatchback. But even I was telling him is like, but he loves it. He's like the way you love wood.
Yeah.
Roderick is like he is in it. But then I see the power what you're talking about, like where there's ones that don't have an understanding. I remember when I was telling you about me doing Twitch and I got swatted by the cops, and the officer that attacked me, because he didn't know it was
right.
done over Skype.
That's right.
Just lost his wife, and
there's a lot that goes into it,
bro.
Their day, their emotional state, their mental state. There's a lot that goes into it. And I get no satisfaction from seeing cops embarrassed. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to say. I love cops. Yeah. I love the police. I just mean, listening to those videos is intriguing to me. It's
a gray area for me though when it comes to that, because like, there's ones that kind of like poke at it.
Yeah. There's some that just want to fight.
Yeah.
I don't watch those.
And because some of the friends I have are cops and are tired.
Mm-hmm.
You look at like Buddy Bradley Byers, Josh Rife. Like,
yeah.
If you catch them in a bad day, but now with the cops that like have the ego, like you do this, you do that, you do this. The best thing you can do is what's your badge number, and don't say anything else.
Right. But there's those that hear that phrase. Okay, so say they walk up on this guy holding this sign that says "God bless homeless vets," and they say, "How you doing, sir?" And his first thing out of his mouth is, "What's your name and badge number?" And they immediately go into this. Oh, he's one of those. Oh. So I gotta be the one that's right at the end of this altercation. I gotta be the one that wins. So either he leaves, or he's in jail, or whatever. I can't be the one that has to walk away saying, "There's nothing I can do for you, ma'am." Whoever called and said, "Hey, get this guy out of here," whatever.
We got in D'Iberville, James Steed, me and Emily got in a hit at Henry's 2, that four-way stop.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid was like is a Vietnamese kid, like 18 years old. He didn't even stop at that stop sign. We're going to her sister's cemetery, and he ran through that and hit us with my son in the car.
Wow.
He had a bottle of Crown, and they didn't even do a full report on it.
Mm.
And I went to D'Iberville and was like, "Hey, what's up with this?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, we didn't do this." And I called Steve, and Steve called the city manager, and I'm like, "This is just you report. There's a underage kid that just hit my family on a Sunday, going to and it hurt. It hurt us. Like, we totaled our car. That was a big issue.
Absolutely. And your kid was in the car
and didn't do a full report. You're supposed to do a full report.
Look, they are human just like us, and everybody makes mistakes, and I get that.
But that did upset me.
Well, sure. But look, your house gets broken into. Who are you going to call?
Cops.
We love them. We got to have them. Yeah. There's no world without them. That's I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea and think that I don't like cops.
No, it's just I get what you're saying with this, but the thing is, it's the same thing with all these like this whole Me Too movement, or this way people feel and express themselves. So like you keep in mind, like these are happening. And that was that one cop, and it's all fixed now.
Sure, it's a mistake.
But do a full report if you're going to do a full report.
Absolutely.
And the thing that I see though is I don't really. I do watch these videos, and I'm like, they're coming off kind of rude.
Yeah.
Like, they're going back and forth. Like, if you're trying to find it, that's going to cause.
Yeah, if you're baiting,
or
you're fishing for it, that's But I can tell the difference when watching those kind of videos, and that's why I like the ones that I do like, because I've watched enough to know that if she walks into a building, say she walks into a city hall or a police office, and she films all the public information on the wall and nobody says anything to her and she's out in 5 minutes, she's not going to hang around and purposely point the camera at somebody so that they call the cops and she can get an altercation for YouTube so she can monetize it and get $1. I mean, that is her job. That is what she chose to do, you know, for a living, right? She's got 150,000 subscribers and she makes a check from it, right? So the altercations are what pays her bills because she can make a full video out of that. But at the same time, she posts the stuff where she goes in and she's 5 minutes in and out. And she said, all right, y'all, the post office, you know, in Orlando on this street, you know, they did great. You know, they upheld, you know, they didn't cause a ruckus, that kind of thing. So,
Did you ever see Idiocracy?
Idiocracy,
You need to watch that. You need to watch it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's got Luke Wilson in it.
Yeah, I love Luke Wilson.
Yeah, no, it's Mike Judd did it from Beavis and Butthead. It's
Okay.
one of his movies he did in like 2005.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll check that
And
out.
it's got Terry Crews the president. And they use Brawny as an energy drink for plants instead of water.
I've seen that. Okay, the plant. Yeah. I have seen that. Yeah, the whole planet is, or the whole country is like growing this stuff everywhere. Yeah.
I just, you know, with the whole law enforcement situation, but you know, that's 5% of them that are rude.
Oh, absolutely.
The 95 are great.
Absolutely.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, Roger's a badass.
1000%.
Roger's saving lives every day.
Yep.
T-Win's saving lives every day. Robert. There's a lot of people that I know that really are putting their neck out there. But it is, you got that situation, but then you got people that just go around and, like, are entitled. Everything's, you know, and the entitlement now, too, is getting kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's like the Karens. I'm so tired of Karens.
Yeah.
That's my feed. My feed's like, it's like Karen's like, why are you parking on the side of the road right here?
Yeah.
It's like
people have nothing more to complain about.
I'm just at my friend's house. They're like, well, you got to move.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just at my friend's house. Well, how long are you gonna be here? Like, I've only been here for 10 minutes, but you know, I think there's a situation like if somebody parked in front of my house and like literally parked in front of my house for a day or two, but was at my neighbor's house.
Yeah, you'd know. You wouldn't care, right?
Wouldn't care. Like, I mean, I wouldn't get them towed.
Right, absolutely.
You know, I had a friend. She was at Lana was at Walk-Ons in Diaro. She got drunk and you know we're drinking with friends. I've been to Walk-Ons and had several drinks.
Sure.
But she left her car there to play it safe, take another ride.
Smart move.
Yeah. Well, they towed her car.
Overnight, one day?
Yeah, one day.
Wow.
So like, how many times have you left your car at a
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they apologized and made it right.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
But they did fix it. But I'm saying that was like,
in the moment you'd be upset about that because that's something you should.
Yeah,
I mean, like I did the responsible thing and I got punished for it. You know, like
yeah. Lana works at Powermark. She's a realtor. Check her out. She's a great person.
yeah.
Sweetheart.
I'm sure.
But they towed her car.
That's wild. I wouldn't think one day, you know, if you're closing down and your closed shift and you've seen the car 5 times, maybe, but
So that's why my thing is like, is it getting to a point now where like, are we being too overprotective? Like, where are we at?
I think everybody's head's just up their ass, honestly.
Really?
Everybody, even me. I'm bad for some stuff I complain about. I just do. I have my things.
What's your things that piss you off?
I'm man enough. I don't know. You put me on the spot. I'll think of something. I'm mostly laid back. I do have my stuff I bitch about, but very rarely am I going to come up to you and complain.
I don't
about
like
it.
panhandlers.
Really?
Not the ones because I see the same ones over and over again.
I have a real hard time discerning who's real and who's not panhandling. Like who's really hurting or who's just working a Tuesday 5 to 7 on this corner because they know it pays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have a hard time discerning who, so I just kind of stay away most of the time. But I have, you know, me and my kids have been riding around before and we see somebody and there's a sign that just says need socks. I'm going to buy that dude some socks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
He literally took the time to specifically say, here's what I need, not give me money.
I'm Dollar General guy. If I see a young mom,
Absolutely.
and I actually buy their
100%.
groceries. If I go get an energy drink,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I see it. I just see it. I'm like,
Yeah. look,
Let me
I think
add that to my cart. It
I think
cost
it's
me
great.
$30. It's like,
and I know that's not the purpose of it, but it makes you feel good, and you kind of, you know, I mean,
well,
it's,
my mom went through a lot, so it's cool. It's cool. Like, my mom really worked hard. My mom worked. She was a Winn-Dixie cashier, and she worked. She was a Mary Carey director. She did some modeling. She was a stockbroker.
Really?
Oh, dude, she raised.
did it all.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best.
How many siblings?
4.
4?
Yeah,
Four total?
No, there's 5 actually.
Okay.
My dad has with his wife after my mom, Ramsey, sweetheart. But there's me, Beth, and Michael. I think Beth's 46, Michael's 44, Bronson's 39, I'm 37.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're like the craziest. We're heathens.
Yeah.
Like, we are heathens. Like, you put us together, and like, you know, in our young age, like, you put us together, like, we're the kids, like, you know, honestly, underage drinking, acting crazy.
Yeah.
We would, you know, experience marijuana together. We would, you know, dive into
normal kid stuff.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you put me and my siblings together, we're the funniest crew. Like,
I'm sure.
Because it's like, we're like, what you got?
That's right.
Nah, I mean, it's about a 10-year part for me and Bronson. Like, normally it's about 10 years.
Yeah.
My brother lives in California. My sister lives in Ocean Springs.
Okay. So you got some family close.
Yeah, I mean, I got my dad. I got 1,000 cousins.
I got you. Yeah, cousins, obviously.
Dude, I got 1,000.
I have a great aunt who lives here, which is why I even ended up here in the first place. I came to visit in 2013 and decided I wanted to move down here. But other than her and her kids who are second cousins or whatever, because she's a great aunt. But anyway, other than them, I don't have any family that lives here. Everybody's back in North Carolina, so it's tough. You know, my mom's going through a tough time, and my brother, and you know, all that's happening. He's staying with my mom. He just moved back up here. He was down here for a little bit, and it was nice having my family close. You know, him and his boyfriend were living like a mile away from us at one point, and it was great. And then now he's back in North Carolina with his ex-wife, so it's a little weird. But you know, so we're lucky to have. Yeah, that's right.
Was he experimenting?
No, I don't know. I guess he just went both ways at one point. I guess he was married to her before he moved down here and met him. You know, he served in Afghanistan, and
The boyfriend or your brother?
my brother. And then he moved down here and was here for a couple months, and then I found out he had a boyfriend. So I was like, oh, you're gay, cool. You know, I mean, I never known. None of my family ever knew, and then we found out, and they were together for years and years, like 5 or 6. And then he just moved back, and they split up. So he just reconnected with his ex, who he was with before he moved down here, and now they're back together.
I mean, it's kind of like you know, getting into the import scene and moving into domestics.
Yeah, I guess.
You got a Honda Accord, now you got a Ford.
I mean, yeah, he likes both. Who gives a shit? But no, it was nice having my family close. You know.
But you know,
You're
sometimes the people that you surround yourself with are your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to keep that in mind. Like,
I really believe that, but I really don't hang out with a lot of people, man.
you just come hang out with me.
I will.
You definitely come hang out with me, man.
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, I have great friends. Don't get me wrong. I don't. You know, anybody that hears this, I don't intend to piss anybody off. I just, you know, I'm mostly at home. I'm working or relaxing, one of the two. You know.
I mean, like I said, like, but you know, I was telling you earlier, like, you got Brandon Davis, you got these people that I absolutely just adore.
Sure.
With like,
I have like 4 of those.
But they but I know, but you don't need any bigger than that. Like,
No. Sure.
You know, like I was telling you, my buddy DJ, like, you know, we just lost his dad. That Hummer, I bought that's his dad's Hummer. I bought.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really not mine. I'm
Right.
gonna give it back. It's his family. It's dad's favorite truck. So
yeah,
it's just gonna be. He's got H1. This an H2.
Gotta have it.
And so he's gonna build a warehouse in Latimer, and that's where we're gonna keep our toys.
There you go. That's smart.
But it's
make some room in that driveway. You need it.
You know, he was like a dad to me.
Yeah.
He was my dad's best friend in school.
There you go.
And he died at 59, 60, you know, stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Wow. No,
On Father's Day this year.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
You know, the hardest thing was making that fucking slideshow.
Yeah, I bet.
I remastered all his kid photos, and Dude, that was fucking, dude, that was like.
I did one for my sister last year, and that was hard. Dude, that was hard.
Dude, I was in there crying the whole fucking time. It was so
Same.
bad. It was like,
It's tough.
I know for a fact I smoked, I know for a fact I smoked about 20 joints. I'm telling you, I'm not lying about it.
And I don't blame you, man. It's hard to do. It really is.
You know when you
just
cry so much where you're just covered in snot?
Yeah,
Where you're just like,
it's just falling everywhere. Absolutely. I do, 100%, man.
and that was, that was the person that his name's Doug Voorhees. He had a TV show in the late 80s, 90s, and it was like he's been on Outdoor Channel, Old Man Tree Stand.
Nice.
He created the hotspot deer feeder.
Really?
Yeah. So we got all these patents, and one thing we are going to be coming out with is I'm just going to tell it now, but we're going to be coming out with our own. Antlers is his dad's company. Is like he has patents. He has like 16 patents. So like a college camo. Okay. We got that coming out with Mossy Oak.
Nice.
But we're gonna be doing our own hat company.
Okay.
But it's gonna be like antlers, and it's gonna be 8-point, 12-point. It's gonna be a different
cool
hat.
idea. Yeah, I like that.
But it's gonna be his dad. So I have his dad's signature where he actually wrote. So it's gonna be antlers by Doug Voorhees.
Gotcha.
And that's cool. That's how I'm gonna spread the love. Instead of just having one hat for this one thing, it's like you'll be able to buy it for your company.
Yeah,
and put it on there. And it's just he's a person that
that's cool. I like that.
Well, he didn't. One thing about him is I was so fascinated by him because when I was growing up, he was sewing with a sewing machine, making a patent.
Okay.
Like he was the same person me and you are creating and pushing ourselves.
Yeah.
Like he
trying to build a brand.
Yeah. That's what he did. Like
had to be so much different back then. Wow.
Oh, it was a lot harder.
Wow.
We got it as
social. Yeah, we have
no.
everything.
You should see the cameras, all the Canon cameras, all the shit he has. It's like, dude, he actually has like the whole mixer that you can. This is how you cut video.
Really?
So he had to watch a whole video on tape and then cut it that way.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was just
God, it's so much harder back then. We're spoiled. You realize that? We are spoiled.
Oh, I know. That's why. I mean, yeah. Like right now, you can grab your phone and have a full live show.
It blows my mind that I can type out what used to have to be done in a letter and then put in a buggy powered by a horse to go across the country, but I could send it in 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it still blows my mind,
What is your one of your biggest things? Is Etsy a big place for you?
Not at all. The problem with Etsy is it's saturated. There's just so many people that do what I do. Luckily not local, and that's why I have a good business here. I'm probably the only one within 120 miles that does this full-time epoxy all day, every day. But Etsy's also filled with people overseas, not just this country. So there's a lot of guys from Poland. There's a lot of guys from China that, some random person can get on Etsy and see a table and say, I want to buy this. And then they have a few customizable options, but you don't get pictures. You don't really get to talk to them. You just say, I want this, and you pay, and it shows up at your house so many weeks later, and they can do that. They just don't really get that connection with the artist or, the builder. So that's why I try to avoid Etsy. I feel like it cuts out all the stuff that I love to do, which is design.
Emily just got her second. She's been having Etsy for like 2 years because she does wedding signs, but she does local, like a lot of local spots. But she just the other day they have Crafty Clover. Her and her best friend Carrie Jo have Crafty Clover in downtown Gulfport. So any promotional stuff,
absolutely.
If you need that, work with them.
I will.
But Emily got her second order. Babe, are you up here? She was up here working on hats, but she got her second order a couple days ago, and it was kind of like cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was just because
I never had the first one.
Yeah, it was $65. It's like, it's just like, that's awesome, babe.
Yeah, I never had the first one on Etsy, and I had an ad running or 5 ads running for like 6-8 months probably. I thought that's where I had to be because that's where everybody else was, but I just didn't know that, offering that customization and offering that contact with the builder and that rapport that you could build between you and the client. I just, I didn't know that was what I was really looking for back then. I know now that when, okay, I had a guy call me. He saw a marketplace ad and he got my number from it, and he called me and said, hey, I live in Houston. I have this size house and I want this size table. Can you give me a quote? I had it back to him in 20 minutes. He called me back. He was ready to send me a $15,000 deposit because he ordered quite a few things. He ordered like 3 pieces and they were pretty big. Yeah. He hadn't talked to me on the phone for a total of 12 minutes and was ready to send me the money. He liked what he saw. He understood, that I understood what he wanted, and I sent him back a rendering, which I can do pretty quick with my phone. And he was ready to order like that. Other people are 6-7 days worth of calls and text and video chats and just, the same, you have to be patient, but I like it. I like it when they kind of let me have a say, and then I like it when they know what they want, or when they don't know what they want, but I'm successful in showing them what they love. I tell them all the time, you got to look at it every day. I don't. Please pick what you want. Don't just pick something because you don't feel like dealing with me right now. Like, pick what you love, because you have to look at this thing every day when you walk into your kitchen or living room, wherever it's going. So the guy in Houston, he was in a $3 million house, It was a huge job, and it was great.
Like, outside the box, not trying to build your ego on this, but
no, you're good.
If you look at your fucking work outside the box, amazing.
I love it. I really appreciate it.
It's crazy.
I am super proud.
And we're talking about like the resin, and then when you not do resin,
yep.
I'm more leaning to no resin.
I would rather take a giant 10-foot piece of wood that's like 60 inches wide, live edge here and there, not all the way crazy live edge, just a little here and there, and then have a few cracks in it and fill that in with black. Black's my favorite color. Walnut wood with black resin is like what I want to do. I would rather make those tables all day, every day than blues and swirls.
Do you ever get scared though? You're new. What we 3 years now into business.
Yep.
Do you ever get a little scared because you're not like having them contracts anymore? Like with like the hauling, because like hauling, you're making $10,000 a month.
Well, I didn't have so I used the load board. I kind of like the same thing I do now. I get quotes called into me, but with hauling, I was going onto a website where people posted what they had, and I would just say, hey, I'll pick these up, deliver them that day. And then I would get there and I'd do the same thing, find a load near me and pick it up and drive it back. Right. So, I don't really have that fear no more. I do have a fear that one day the quotes will stop.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell no, dude.
Eventually this shit will die down. I feel like
this phone's just, I
You're
don't know. No, I have a couple of my friends, they're trying to play Call of Duty and they're on my emergency list.
So they go through even when it's silent.
Yeah,
I got
to cut it off. I'm sorry, but
no, you're fine.
But it scares you a little bit?
Yeah, it scares me a little bit. I feel like it will die down one day. One day this will just no longer be what people want. There'll be something better.
That's what I was trying to say, like networking you with Butler and networking with
that's the whole reason I'm here, is the network. People I don't.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Hey, cheers to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for the networking thing. I would love to not have to ship anything, I don't mind doing it. U-Ship is really easy. Remember the show Shipping Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they used a website called U-Ship where you post a product, whatever it is,
get it.
Dimensions and a price that you're willing to pay, and they'll, it's not like where they bid on it back and forth like you see in the TV. You post the price and they might message you back and say, hey, I'll do that for 50 more bucks. I'll pick it up this day, deliver it that day. You down? I'll go click, accept, and that's it. They come get it. I have it ready when they get there. It's super easy. So it's easy to ship, but I would love to do stuff that's local, that I could have just a notebook full of stuff that's in casino. Man, I'd love to do a piece for a casino.
Do you have a tag?
Here.
Like rappers have a tag to their songs.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a tag? Do you tag your stuff?
Oh, and I mean, physically, I have some little tags I'll put on. Yeah, but not
on your tables.
Not like a I don't
Metro
sign
Boomin.
No, I don't have a sign. I don't have a little thing that I hide in every one.
You need to.
I mean, that would be cool. I don't know. At this point, man, I'm so busy. I get to the point where I forget to brand them sometimes. They just go out the door and it doesn't even have my logo on it.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing at all. I'm horrible about it. You know how much, I really think I could be successful with a YouTube channel. No talking, just filming, me making them, the very satisfying process of pouring it, popping the bubbles and oiling it, making it real pretty and shine and all that. I really feel like that would take off, because everybody that does it repetitively and that uploads enough is successful. I think I could get a check from just YouTube just from doing that. I just don't have the patience to deal with the camera and the tripod and the gimbal and the different views and the editing, and I'm just so busy with tables.
I think you just simplify it. Like I said, I started a podcast with 3 cameras. Now I go to 1. You've just been here. You see me plug in and let's go.
That was easy.
I think
you hit a button. It was like on.
Literally, that's because I want it that way. Because I don't want to take away from the conversation we're having.
That's right. I understand.
I don't want to do that.
And that's another thing with filming. I don't want to take away from the tables. I'm so worried about what I'm going to produce this week that I'm going to rush and get to that satisfying oil shot.
But that's an iPhone 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would take that.
Sure.
I'll send you the link on Amazon for that tripod, like there. Overshot, put on the 5.5, and I'll set. I guarantee you right now, I'll get in your phone when we're done with the podcast. You don't have any of the right settings on there.
Oh, I'm sure not.
And I'll fix it, but like you get that overshot, and I'll teach you how to edit.
I mean, I have the HD and the 60 FPS.
I can teach you how to like.
I'm sure.
Set it over your head.
Yeah,
you get it set up, and then you just like, and then you can do it now. Where honestly, like CapCut has AI clips.
I have CapCut.
But it will AI. You pay monthly for it?
No, I have the free thing.
So if you pay monthly, they have AI. They'll clip the whole thing to a video.
So you just post the whole video and it'll make its own.
Yeah, with music
section.
and everything.
You ever use PixArt? They do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I use PixArt for renderings.
But I honestly use Adobe.
Yeah.
Like, I create everything from like I really do like. So when I make stuff, I like creating from scratch.
I got you. I just got SketchUp the other day, which is designing like a CAD software for my iPad, so that I could start importing photos of pieces of wood and doing actual 3D renderings of tables. So trying to step my game up because that's what every big company that I compete with does.
Don't ever think like so. I started like I mean I built my first website like it was HTML code, and that's like Notepad.
Yeah.
But don't ever think not to adapt and use other software.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
I tell people all the time like. If you sit there and watch me on Adobe Photoshop, you're gonna be like I learned from Marty Wilson.
Yeah,
I followed my kid. Marty Wilson did the Reef, the artist.
Yeah, I
I
know.
watch fucking Marty. No, he's like the reason I live in Gulfport is because of fucking Marty.
Yeah,
that's my fucking ride or die right there. But like I learned a lot from him, and he told me a month ago. He goes, "You surpassed me."
When he was in here?
Yeah. He goes, No, just because on the phone, he's like, you already surpassed.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he'd probably said it on the podcast too, but he is like, you surpassed me.
Yeah.
It's like giving the torch. And
my buddy John Lundstrom works with him.
I know of him, but I've never met him.
Yeah. Killer airbrush guy. Killer work.
So I think, but you really have to like embrace all that. Like I create from Adobe, but I'm telling you right now, like I can set you up how you want, what your setup, and it'll automatically make you a video to post.
Yeah, and I'd love to do that, and I may take you up on that one day.
You should definitely do it.
Yeah.
If you get started. Like, look, content, guys. Anybody listen? Like, whether you're doing real estate, I don't care if you're working at McDonald's. If you have an idea and you want to be creative, send your content out.
Yeah,
like you can't sit there and have this idea and say, well, I might do it. You know, people tell me that like I might do a podcast.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, well, it's tough on me. Like, I mean, I'm doing it because I enjoy it.
Yeah, but it's like the lottery. If you don't play, you won't win. I mean, you got to try it, right? So this Theo Vaughn, I'm making Theo Vaughn's podcast table, right? Blows my freaking mind. I'll tell you the story. Okay, so I'm a big no, you're good. You're good. I'm a big listener, big fan of his show. He has a number that he puts out. Hey, call the hotline if you ever you want to answer this week's question, or when he does his solo episodes, he has like a question, or he'll have everybody call and comment on what a caller might have asked. Like my girlfriend's having trouble with this. Well, what does everybody think? Call this number. So I called the number and I said, hey, look, I'm a Gulf Coast native, kind of like Theo. He grew up in Covington or whatever. I said I do furniture, and I just watched this Boozy episode where he did Boozy's interview podcast, and it was at this table that looked like they bought it off Wayfair. It was this live edge monkey pod table that I thought looked really cheap, and I said, let me make y'all one. 2 years later, I'm on a cruise ship in the Bahamas or in Mexico somewhere, one of those, and I get an email from Zach Powers, his producer for this past weekend. And it says, hey, Robert, I heard your voicemail. Would love to take you up on that. And I'm thinking 2 years, whatever. I didn't even remember what I said in the voicemail. But I knew it was something along those lines. But anyway, he hit me up and he said, hey, we'd love to take you up on that. And this whole thing started out as a donation. I just wanted to make a table, throw it out there. And then I had the ability to go on Instagram and Facebook and tag Theo Vaughn saying, I made this dude's table. Check it out. Because then all his followers see it, kind of build my brand and notoriety. Absolutely. So we get to where we've picked the wood and we've talked about a few designs, and there's a lot of going back and forth, and it's all email. Haven't talked to anybody on the phone, haven't texted. It's all back and forth through email, right? With his producers, not with him directly. And And I had made a comment and I had said, hey, I got to wait on this other one, to pay out. And then I'm going to order y'all's wood and blah, blah, blah. And it's just around Christmas time. And this guy, he emails me back and he says, hey, well, look, we were going to surprise you with a check when the table got here. But, since you said you had to wait for this to pay out before you buy it, we'll go ahead and send you a deposit. We hope this helps during the holidays, blah, blah, blah. I felt like maybe I poor mouthed him and didn't know I did, and he felt like, I don't know, they didn't want to put me out. But anyway, I wanted to do it for free because I knew it was going to take me a year to do it. Because I got all this other stuff going on. I can't just stop. These other people have deadlines. They have parties. They have whatever. It's got to be done by this day. I have no room in my shop. I knew they wanted a big table. It's 105 by 55. It's huge, right? So we're now to the point where I'm about to finish it up and ship it out on Friday probably. So it was originally supposed to go to his Nashville studio, but now it's going to LA. It's going to Hollywood. He's got a new studio out there. My assumption is that since he moved to Nashville and kind of blew up and got bigger and the podcast took off, they were opening another one in Hollywood so that they can be closer to a lot of the other guests he's going to have. So they're just going to put it at that studio. Unless he might be moving back to Cali. I don't know. He's been living in Nashville forever. But we're going to see him on March 30th at Sanger Theater in New Orleans. I'm going to ask him why they changed it up to go back to Cali. So, but awesome opportunity, crazy, great. Still to this day, don't believe I'm building his table. I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to see him interviewing somebody.
Has there photos out there about it? I mean, big time.
Photos.
I've seen a photo earlier.
Yeah. I mean, there's 2 other ones other than that. This was my point of bringing that up. I missed a big opportunity to film that whole process. I missed a big opportunity to have a viral video on at least 3 platforms off the top of my head right now that people would have that probably would have had over 1 million views because it had his name in it. It would have just been a short, quick video of me building it, making it, and finishing it, and shipping it out. You know what I mean?
Oh. Well,
and I missed it.
We'll clip this, and then I'll send you the whole video and clip this, and you can send it.
There you go.
It'll go around.
And I have some footage of it, and I have some footage of it being cut and being poured. But I literally had to take my kids. So my oldest is at Ole Miss for pre-law, and he still has a bedroom in our house. But I literally had to take his bed and flip it up against the wall so I had room in my house because I don't have room in my shop to do his table while I had the other 3 going on. So I had to make room in his spare bed and in this bedroom, not my spare bedroom, my oldest kid's bedroom, to pour this table. All right. So I made my waterproof boxes on the floor and I put the wood in and I had to make room. So it wasn't really the perfect circumstances because the background is it's kind of obvious it's in somebody's house doing it. It's not a shop. So that's kind of why I just decided not really to film it all.
That makes it even more special though.
I mean, yeah, but
dude,
then
that's cool as shit.
Yeah, I love it. I'm completely
you're
flattered.
Your worst critic.
Oh, absolutely. I hate it.
How can people find you? Let's finish it off with this.
GulfCoastGrainz.com. Gulf Coast Grainz on Facebook. Gulf Coast Grainz on Instagram. And Grainz is with a Z.
I enjoy this podcast with you, bud.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me, man.
I want you to come hang out.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm bringing the guitar. We'll have a good time.
All right, buddy. Hey, guys, thank you for listening and record your content. Don't be like him.
Don't be like me.
All right, guys. Have a good night. All right, bye.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, reps, and life is rich.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots is rich.